The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's Mama J Speaks Unlimited. We are running a little behind today, but that's all right. Everything is always in divine order as it should be. Today, we're going to be talking about competition, something that has arisen within myself, something that I've really had to take a look at. Been dealing with some of my own personal triggers per se, and also we are planning on, hopefully it shall work, having some call-ins of some women that are part of the pageant industry and talk to them about how competition affects their hearts and souls as well. At any rate, I wanted to share some of my recent writings because this is what happens when I come to these awarenesses. Also, as you will see on screen, I have some books here of which I've been reading, and also I encourage any of you out there to maybe pick up and find. And this might be something new that I'm also going to be doing on a week-to-week basis, maybe just once a month. It's always a surprise because I'm going to post something on Facebook later on today to see if any of you are actually tuning in so you know what's going on here. Also behind me, as you can see, it's much more colorful. This is my own personal tapestry. I love tapestries. They totally brighten up a room. I use them typically in any type of space that I want to bring a new energy to, and everything that's more creative and yet relaxing. So, at any rate, apparently the books did not want to be seen. Okay. Well, I'll just let them go down then. And the last one standing, there you go. Meditations. There's a clue. All right. Well, competition. This is what has recently come up for me. It's that thing that separates us. It's that judgment that sneaks up. It's that element in our society, in our minds. It's where the ego lies. It's that place, that thing that creates doubt within. When we strive for our own excellence, we subconsciously view what others are doing or being, getting or receiving that alters our state of peace, meaning we might be competitive within ourselves, just within ourselves, but the moment that we end up looking at somebody else and what they're doing and how they're obtaining their goals and their life purpose, that is when we shift from our own views into that other person's, and we get all wrapped up into what everybody else is doing outside of ourselves. And that is where we can ultimately become very disoriented. Oh, look at that. Already a call. Fantastic. Thank you for calling. You're on Mama J Speaks Unlimited.
Hi, Mama J. This is Pamela Cravat. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. How are you, Pamela?
Great.
So tell us where you're from, what you do. How'd you hear about us?
Oh, yeah. I currently live in Annapolis, Maryland. It's considered a metro DC.
Mm-hmm.
I am the international international director for the Fashion Hero. I'm also the owner and executive producer of Pageant Live, Ask the Crown, Pageant Vrente, and my blog, and I have a full-time job
Wow.
as an IT strategist.
You are a busy, busy woman.
Too busy sometimes.
Well, thank you for joining us and calling in and everything. Today's topic is competition, and I was just sharing a little bit of my recent writings about competition and everything. What are your viewpoints coming from the fashion hero and pageantry? Because that is a really huge element of competition when you're talking about beauty and figures, and it's almost like a popularity contest to a degree. How does that simulate to the people that are actually participating in that? How does that help feed their souls and their hearts to make them better people, or help them to realize their divinity within?
Well, it's by us being Americans, we are competitive by nature.
Mm-hmm.
We throughout our whole life, we compete for grades. We compete in sports. We compete. Some people compete with their neighbors to stay ahead of the Joneses. So competition is something very similar. People we're familiar with competition. So there's a couple things. The fashion hero, it breaks those type of molds. Many a times the fashion hero, if you don't look like Heidi Klum or if you don't look like Tyra Banks, they say, we don't want you. Or many a times models will come in, men and women, and they'll say, you don't have the right look, or we're not into blonde hair, blue-eyed. We want the more exotic look. So we deal with not only rejection, too.
Oh,
also,
wonderful.
too, there's rejection in sports and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm really supporting what you're saying, because I feel that it's amazing that you yourself and your team of people that are heading up this fashion hero. I think it's a beautiful thing. What spawned you to create this new element of transition for the modeling industry?
Well, of course, I didn't. Carol Burnett, who has been in the industry, the modeling and the fashion industry for about close to 25, 30 years, is the one. This is her vision. I enjoy Pageant Live was the first of its kind talk show about pageantry. I tend to pick up on trends a little bit quicker than others. I believe in the vision. I'm 20-year retired military, so I'm into mentorship of young men and women. And I think what happens is that we need more of acceptance in society. Why should 1% of the fashion industry tell 99%? The other 99 percentile what we should wear.
Right.
And that's what's happening. And they're making multi-million dollars by telling us, but yet we're the ones out shopping. And the fashion hero is more about self-esteem, acceptance, and also, too, about, giving those people a chance out there to be a brand model and be on TV. So I really enjoy, I like the vision. I like the project. And I do have to tell you something very quickly about pageantry.
Right.
What I have identified, and I've been with Pageant Live about 3 years, is that after women graduate from high school, there's nothing else. We're done. If you're not in sports, some sort of sport in college, we're done. Pageantry gives women a platform, and men, a platform to be able to get out there, raise money. So it's not all about beauty. In other words, if you look at some of the people and you think, she's wearing a crown, they could be the most magnificent spokesperson. So there's many different pageants. There's different levels. I like it because it gives women another platform, and it opens tons of doors.
Right.
Incredible amount of doors. And it's good that we have that.
Yes.
And you can get in anywhere. You call in with a title, hi, I'm Miss This, whatever. They're going to listen to you. If you call in just, hey, I'm Pam Prevette, I'll be on hold for a while.
Right. Well, then I guess it is going to be a really good thing that I'm Miss Showbiz. What is it? Miss Diva Showbiz United States. And I have my shows that just recently won a Talkie Award for Best Spiritual Talk Show as well. So I'm very honored that you decided to call in and communicate and give me your viewpoint. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I really stand behind you and other people like yourself that are wanting to help lift people up and not do the typical aspect of competition where you're about wanting to separate people.
Well, it's healthy too, because, here's the bottom line. You go to a company, there's only one CEO.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the reality of things, there is, but what it inspires you to be is, I believe, it teaches mentorship, it teaches the spirit of team, and it's, even if you go out, let's say in pageantry, and you don't win, you have made some incredible connections,
mm-hmm.
and you have experienced something that you will never experience, and that's the same thing as the fashion hero. This is something new. It's catching on, and it's a good thing. It's a very, very, very good thing, and it's going to give people, ordinary people, to be able to have a chance to be on television.
Yes, and everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, at some point they want to be that star. And in all honesty, we are all stars. We were all created for a purpose and to rise and to,
I agree.
Well, to help create a new level of existence, a new level of understanding one another, because our true lesson in our lives right now is about shifting our consciousness to a newer level, a higher level beyond what the normalcy has always been. Because we are so much more. We have that divine spark within every single one of us. And so when we have platforms like you're describing and talking about, and you are opening up an opportunity for for those that would be looked at as just the regular Joe Schmo, this is something that it can be very defining and raise people's, like you said, their self-esteem and everything else. So I commend you on that very much so.
And that's exactly what the fashion hero is all about. It's taking the fashion industry to a level that it has not been in. We now see plus size models on the red carpet in LA,
mm-hmm.
New York. I mean, it's never happened before, because because someone has some extra weight, they're less of a person. No. We need to understand that not everybody is. God didn't make us all the same for a reason.
No, not at all.
And we need to appreciate and embrace that someone. I mean, these women, I got to applaud them. They are out there, and it's so interesting because the plus size, Didi Allure is one of the new designers that I've been. She's also a Miss America plus size.
Oh,
she
very
said
cool.
that they said that America. You're right, Miss Plus Size America. She said that other countries embraced them more than ours did.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not odd?
Yeah.
I mean, she said that they really, really did. And she even said L.A. embraced the plus-size modeling more than the East Coast.
Wow. That's a switch up.
Yeah, that's what I thought so, too. The land of size zero.
Right.
Yeah,
Barbie doll looks.
Like but you know what? My thing is that, but my thing is that, and you know what? They're beautiful people.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with these men and women, and they are very accomplished, caring, beautiful people. And I mean, and that's all that matters. In fact, we need more of that. Hello, America. We need more people like that.
Oh, wonderful. I'm just getting the sign that we have another phone call, but
okay.
Thank you so much, Pamela, for calling in and sharing your views. You are an earth angel, a light worker doing what you're doing, and I send you many gratitude blessings for everything that you're doing.
All right, dear. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye. Hello. You're on
Well, hello
the
there.
internet air
Mom-
with Mama J Speaks Unlimited.
Hi, Mama J. It's Dawn Reese. and I
Hello,
wanna
Dawn Reese. How are you?
Fabulous. I want to congratulate you on your show and touching people's hearts and their lives and making a difference. So I congratulate you and give you honor to your
Thank
position,
you.
what you're
Thank
doing
you.
for the world. And I love the segment on competition. And you had just spoke to our partner, Pamela.
Mm-hmm.
And Pamela is an amazing woman, and we need to get you on her show.
Truly.
A lot of the, yes, and pageantlive.com, you'll have to get on there and just have a blast with the ladies and give more spiritual information and messages to people around the world.
Absolutely.
And
Goddess energy unite.
I agree. And, you're talking about competition for the soul and the heart. And I'm going to go back in the days. I'm going to go back in time when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really good spiritual connection on something from my parents' point of view.
Right.
I was in the Miss National Teenager pageant, and I worked so hard to get sponsors. And I went in, and the first year I was, I think, the top 5. And then the next year I went in, I said, I'm going to conquer it again. I was first runner-up. And at that time, I looked at my mom, I said, I really tried hard. I really prayed for this. She said, it wasn't your time, Dawn. And
Right.
I didn't understand that, because later on in life, she said, wisdom is better than gold. And I understand that now. And so what I found out was that time, that winner, that was Miss National Teenager, her father had passed away. And that year gave her a year of something wonderful to hold on to. As another example, I was in the Mrs. Arizona pageant. And a long time ago, and I worked hard that year. My gosh. And long story short, this is another not meant to be for that timing.
Right.
And I guess the scores were turned around, and there was something wrong with the scoring system, or something had happened. And I didn't understand it. And they thought, do you want to go forward with this? And I thought, no, let it go. The woman that won, her daughter was killed in a car accident.
Oh, my.
And that year, you could see she had something about drunk drivers, and she gave a testimony on her title.
Right, right.
It just kind of warms my soul of telling people, you try so hard, and if it's not meant to be, God has the keys. And I just put that on my Facebook wall today.
Right.
He opens the doors of opportunity. You keep doing your thing. And then I'm going to step back again in time. When I was newly married back in the days, the Mrs. America pageant, I was the youngest contestant in 1982.
Wow.
But what happened was I was very shy. And that's why I'm so glad to have ShyFigaro.com. I'm going to say that because I'm going to get you hooked up with him. He has the Shy shirt. I'm not shy anymore, I tell you. Trust me. But
I used to be shy too.
Well, we're going to get you some Shy shirts. There we go.
Awesome.
And he's an amazing designer. But, that timing, when I went to the Mrs. America pageant, I was so young, and Mrs. Texas won. And what I learned opened so many doors for me. And then, Mama J, from there, I started judging beauty pageants. And I sat down to producers and casting directors, and I would sit there, and I'd go, I want to try to manage talent. And they would say, oh, my gosh, who do you have in this book? And they took them. I didn't know anything about management back in the days. And I was doing what was just in the spirit to keep going and connect people to the right people. So just to give you an idea, there's always that right timing, that right door, that right opportunity, something that you are looking to do in your heart and your soul. Like you said, you put it out there and you wait for it to come to you.
Right.
Because it's very important. And
yes.
And here's another secret. And I'll be honest with you. Back in the days after my divorce, little did I know that I put a sailboat on my refrigerator. And I said, someday,
sailboats are nice.
Yeah, and it was. I'd look at it every day. Where do you go every day to get something out of the refrigerator? A glass of water. And the funny thing was, I was putting it in my back of my mind. And to this day, where I am standing right now on a sailboat, not knowing that I put that in existence, my boyfriend is listening to this, to give the positive message of what you say, what you get. And my mother, before
manifestation,
she passed away, Mama J,
yep,
it said to me, I told your father I would be with him 3 years later because he had passed away. And she looked at me the day before she died, and she said, your words are very powerful. Watch your words.
Oh, yes.
And, and when she said, I'm going home, I learned all my lesson. That was a huge, huge lesson in my life. That was very interesting, and that hit me home.
Right.
And then reading Joel Osteen's book, The Best Yet to Come, that opened even more windows to heaven of really seeing of how God works in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I do want to say, and there are things that, I had a bird one time named Caribbean.
Right.
I was in Hollywood. I was a talent manager at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I had an office in Hollywood, and I would call this bird Caribbean every day, and I look at my partner and say, I want to end up in the Caribbean. Well, do you know, about 2 years later, I ended up working for Laker, Bahamas, and I lived in the Caribbean.
That must have been beautiful. How was the competition in your process of doing all of that?
It was something in my heart, in my soul, that I wanted to, like my mom would say, close your eyes, see it, pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something you want, and if you don't get it, then God's got something better for you.
Yes.
And if you're getting a lot of harassment, there's some big blessing right around the corner.
Right.
And she said, and it's up to you to keep, the faith. And I heard this from a friend I would say yesterday, and it really touched my heart. And it was like, don't let people get you upset or angry. What do you do in that fact? If you're trying to go forward, you pray for these people.
Oh, yes.
That's the bottom line.
You don't let the negativity of other people affect your judgment, affect who you are. You got to stay clear and focused on what your end goal is and what your journey is about and everything, because
for sure.
Everybody is on their own personal journey, and we need to be able to honor that with each other. And that's where competition gets very, what's the word I'm looking for? It can really make things icky. That's the best.
I agree. I agree. And even a lot of, and I was on back in the days. I'm going to go, and it's on YouTube. I'll have to send you a clip and you can watch this, and you'll get a kick out of it. Donnie Deutsch had called me to be on his show on CNBC and MSNBC about pageants.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know I was a young reporter at that time, and I didn't really know about him. Bottom line, it came down to competition is great for the soul. It's wonderful. It can get you motivated. It can get you out there. Maybe you're in like a lull, and it's like a little pushy and say, hey, let's take this title. I'm going to go out and make something happen. I'm going to go in parades and do some fun things and go to the Chamber of Commerce and introduce myself or whatever that opportunity is for you at that time. So, and the main thing was really keeping your outlook good.
Right.
But there's competition that I've seen when I've judged events that parents would get ugly and dirty and take the trophies and start swearing, and you're like, oh, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's the dark side of competition. It's one thing if you keep the competition within to push yourself forward, but the moment you switch your viewpoint of comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing and everything, that's when everything gets misinterpreted and a lot of things can end up occurring where you lose your focus and you lose where you want to go and everything else. And that's primarily what I wanted to talk about, the good and the bad of competition today. But I'm getting the sign that I have to wrap up. But thank you so much, Dawn Reese, for calling in and sharing. You as well are a divine light worker. You are doing what you are meant to do. God has placed you on this planet to be the purposeful woman that you are in helping as many people as you are. And we actually have one more call as well. So thank you so much, Dawn. We'll talk with you soon.
No problem. And I do want to say, when you do something on Miracle Stories, I've got 2 of them I want to share with you. So let's do another show with you on Miracle Stories.
Okay, fantastic. You have a beautiful day, dear.
Thank you. Have a great show. Bye-bye.
Bye. We have one more call. Yeah, we're going to take one more call. Hello, you're on the... Oh, we can take one more call if you want to call in. We're getting down to the wire, so love to hear from you as to what your viewpoints are about competition, how it's affected your life positively or negatively. And just to finish up what I was beginning to say before we started having the phone calls, which I thank Pamela and Dawn very much for your participation today and for calling in and what you were sharing with us. Thank you so much. At any rate, where I was is we are to be whom we are created to be, authentic in demonstration. But how often do we see what another is and think, damn, I want that. Or damn, how come it's easy for them and not for me? Damn, what am I missing that I can't have it the same? Well, the thing of it is, we're not supposed to have anything the same because we are all uniquely different, no matter what. This is how each of us was made. And so it's a matter of not beating ourselves up and having self-acceptance and having that self-love and appreciation and just being okay for right where we are at and waiting for the right timing, waiting for the right moment to go ahead and move forward. This is where our paths are unique to what our lessons and teachings are based upon, what we were meant for, what our divine purpose truly is. Through living the way we do and finding ways to outdo the next person, it's just the propensity to keep each other down instead of unifying to help one another up. This is the negative aspect of competition that I'm reflecting upon. As it has come to my awareness, and this was just the other day, I have realized that I have been getting into my own headspace of competition where I totally obliterate my beingness by having the thoughts of, gosh, look at what they are doing to get that done. Oh, wow, they have what I don't have. I'm not good enough now because I don't do that in what they are doing. I don't have what they have. Blah, 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 blah. Useless mind chatter that we all get stuck in. It's the insecurities that do arise in judgment and criticism as well. I've never been fully into competitions, although I've been in competitions. I was a gymnast. I have been in beauty pageants a long time ago. I did end up winning. I was a good gymnast. But then what came after that were many moments of relapsed failures. But I thought of them as tragedies every time, especially in my 20s when we reflect back to what we had gone through and everything. And I've had to learn to just, well, it happens. It just is what it is, and take all the lessons from those experiences in my life. To continue, how healthy is competition? What are the perks for having those thoughts that turn into desperate actions? Meaning, when we're in that frame of mind, what is the perk to it? How does that really help us? And that is when we have to release it and let go of looking at what other people are doing and how they're doing it, and just focus on ourselves and what we want to do and how we want to progress. It's amazing to what is to be revealed, all this focus on the flash and the sizzle, but what is at the core of every message? Is it love and is it acceptance? I love the aspects of the entertainment world because of the creativity that takes place and the self-expression that is allotted. However, there is also a thin line of pure egoism that does arise. The place where competition thrives to change, that is to view ourselves from a different perspective of we are all brilliant and spectacular. We are all of this in our own design. Who we are portraying to be is sometimes filtered by the tendencies outside of ourselves that affect our reactions and our behaviors. It happens to me. How about you? To be able to catch these elements of ourselves and heal, love, forgive, that is a priceless gift of genuineness. That is the priceless gift of authenticity. And that is ultimately what we are really, really meant here to realize, what we are meant to find within. And here's a little something I heard recently. the keys to our happiness isn't in somebody else's pocket. The keys to happiness are in our own pockets. So that's all I have for today. Thank you, everyone. Dawn and Pamela, yet again, for calling in. Sorry you guys didn't get a chance to call in, but tune in later on this evening from 7 to 8 p.m. I'm going to have cranial emissions on, those 3 incredibly interesting, wacky, fun, but down home, amazing men, all with Mama K. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Many gratitude blessings to you all. Have a really, really wonderful day. Bye-bye.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.